guys, what is going on? Blossom is back, and welcome back to another episode of Salad Drives. Today we are bringing back the what can you get from that pack series, and the pack in question today is the 2015 to 2019 carbon fiber. Now before we get into reviewing the pack and telling you what is good, what isn't good, I'm going to show you the pack that I opened right now. It's going to be legendary. Alright, so first off we have BMW Breakaway. That's tier 1 plus 50, rank number 2. 250 gold, 100 renown, and a nice amount of cash. Let's see if we can get an ultra rare from this ceramic pack. Haven't gotten one for a while now, and it's a decent car, but I have like 2 of them maxed already. Nice amount of cash, 250 gold, and 100 renown. Thank you very much. The next one is the biggie though. It is the Zonda Revolution Prelims. 300. I think you guys already saw me post the qualifiers. Yes, you did, because I got 2 ultras from that, and I added it to the end of my 1 million pack opening. So you're probably going to see this at the end of another 1 million pack opening. And, okay, X-Trail. So the next thing we want to see is the Rover, the Land Rover. Okay, that's a decent sign, but it's 54. There are a lot of cars above it. Let's see what we get. 2, alright, Velar, not 2 of the same, but 2 ultra rares, 2 Range Rovers. 37k and 200 gold and 100 renown. Honestly, the only car I was really looking for was the Alfa Romeo Stelbio, because I do have 3 legendaries from this category already. So I think I should be okay for the finals, but we'll see. But that said, that's 2 free ultras. I'll take it. They'll go into an epic of my choosing. Anyway, let's move on to the next clip. Okay, and we're back. Obviously, I didn't open one of the 15 packs. I'm not going to. But obviously, you saw a clip that was from the prelims. Double ultra rare, of course. And if you remembered, I got a carbon. This same carbon, 2015-2019, from the qualifiers, that was double ultra as well. So nothing bonus from the carbon fibers for me. And we're gonna analyze the tracks, we're gonna analyze the cars, and I'm gonna tell you in particular which are going to be very useful for the Tri Series. So with this new way that I'm formatting what you can get from that pack series, in the past I would review every quirky pack that would come out, but now I'm most likely going to review the quirky packs that come out for Tri-Series Finals, because if not, if it's just a pack that is a little quirky, you can honestly just filter in the game and look at all of it, and I don't want to waste your time. I'm pretty sure that you don't want to waste your time either. So yeah, today we're going to talk about 2015 to 2019 SUV carbon fiber. So while looking at the cars, since we already know what they are, let's combine it with the track sets. So here are the track sets actually. There you go, Zonda Revolution Finals. The RQ is 420. Okay, very funny, okay. Joke out of the way now. It's 2015 and 2019 SUV times 5, no price card times 5. And as you can see, these pictures, they're probably circulating, this track set pictures are probably circulating all over the TD community. And that is because, you know, these are bunnies. So shout out to Bunny for making these and making them so damn quick. Bunny posts track sets in my server literally 5 minutes after the after the event begins. I don't even know how Bunny gets them that quickly. I mean, this isn't like going into the event, taking screenshot, and then posting it in the server. You know, like this is actually like, there's some work in this. Like, it's pretty fast. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, so as you can see from the track sets, it's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting asphalt, and let alone 2. So if we look at track set number 1, it's Canyon Tour, Dirt Road, Lookout, Half Mile, and Beat. And then the second track set is Canyon Lookout, Test Bowl, Canyon Dirt Road, Hairpin, Canyon Boot. And then we have Canyon Boot, am I even saying that right? But, Quarter Mile, Canyon Tour, Canyon Lookout, Motocross Track. Motocross Track is like the big one. Canyon Tour, Half Mile, Canyon Boot, Canyon Dirt Road, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, and Quarter Mile. So, as you can see, I don't know the Canyon track sets very well. I don't know if I should classify them as fast or twisty. If you do know, do let me know, because the main way to find out is if I join the finals right now, which is suicide for me joining this early. I'm not gonna do that. But also, it's pretty bad to join like the last day now, because everybody kind of starts doing that. That's like the new trend, so I have to find a new time. But yeah, I don't know those tracks super well. I can't really test them out in single player, but what we can deduce is that they're probably hybrid tracks, and there's some drags as well. You know, we got half mile and a couple quarter miles. We even have a test bowl, and then we have the motocross track. So we're looking for some pretty fast cars, and then here, as we can see, the first track set's all dry, the second, third, and fourth are all wet, and the second, third, and fourth all have at least 2 asphalt. In fact, they all have 2 asphalt, and the first track set only has 1. So essentially what you want to do here is that you are free to use 1 performance tire car, or 1 all-surface tire car, or 1 standard tire car, and then 4 off-roaders. All right, off-roaders as in all-surface or off-road tires. So it's pretty obvious Hutch is trying to suck up for us to use the Audi RSQ3. It's the only performance tire car, and obviously the fact that they made it 2 asphalt, or at least 1 asphalt, so at least 1 performance can be used, and in fact 1 performance is the best to use. The Audi RSQ3 is probably the car that you want to gun for, which is pretty funny. The last time I remembered a final where Hutch was really like, oh, you must use this 1 exact car, was the 4-wheel drive USA finals, when the only legendary you could get was the Acura NSX, and the Epics and the Ultra Rares were just so far below the Acura NSX. That was so key. So this kind of reminds me of that moment. But anyway, let's talk about key cars. So first of all, if you are under 4,000 trophies, then you could probably get away with maxed Ultras and maybe 1 or 2 Epics. But we're not going to talk about under 4,000 trophies brackets. We're talking about the brackets that I witness, and that is like triple legendary, 2 Epics, or 4 Epics, 1 legendary, or like 1 max legendary, 1 Ultra, and 3 Epics max. You know, stuff like that. So we're going to talk about what cars are going to be absolutely keepers and amazing for the long run for this event, and we'll just see what happens. So 2015 and 2019 SUV. Let's have a look. First of all, I want to tell you straight up, if you want to get the Zonda, all the Ultras you get are going to be useless. It's a tri-series. The Ultra Rares are useless. If you want, unless it's like low RQ, like 300 RQ or 340 RQ, but this is 420 RQ. It's way too high. The Ultra Rares are not going to play a part. So any Ultra that you get from the 2015 and 2019 is going to be useless. That being said, are there any Ultras here that if you do get them might help you in the future? Not in the tri-series, but is good to keep in your garage. There are actually. The first one being the Mazda CX-9. This one's not bad. It has the 4-wheel drive standard tire niche. So this is one that I would keep in max. The second one is the Nissan Juke Nismo. This one's decent if you play clubs. If you don't play clubs, then forget it. But if you play clubs, this is a pretty good one because it has that all-surface niche and that front-wheel drive niche. So if we see an event where it's like, I don't know, front-wheel drive times 5, road less taken, or what is it, all-surface tire, oh no, not front-wheel drive all-surface, road less taken, all-surface tires times 5, all dry, not road less taken. So if it's like twists and turns, all dry, all surface tires times 5, this is going to have a huge advantage because of the amazing handling that it has, and most of its competition being all surface tires are 4-wheel drive, they're lower 0 to 60, lower handling. So this is where the car comes into play. So if there's clubs, if there is all surface tires times 5, if it's twists and turns, all dry, this is the car that you want to go. So if you play clubs, the Juke Nismo is a good one to keep, right? The CX-9 is a decent one to keep. The DS7 is a decent one to keep. Personally, for me, any 4-wheel drive standard is a keeper from now on. I know I was really harsh with them in the past, but I've changed. Now I think that almost any 4-wheel drive standard Ultra is worth keeping in your garage, especially since my garage is growing constantly. So moving on to other useful cars would be the Mercedes AMG G63. If you do get this car, once again, none of these are actually going to help you in the Tri-Series, but if you do get them, they can help you in the long run for multiplayer events or championships or clubs and all that kind of stuff. G63, that's a good one to keep. 996 4.10 to 60, I think, or 4.30 to 60 sounds about right. So yeah, that's a very good one to keep. 996 that. Another one that's decent is the Honda Pilot 4-wheel drive 996. This is a super niche car. Literally just Japanese hill climb. That's it, just Japanese hill climb. Because if you 996 this, I think it hits like 4.90 to 60. It's literally just Japanese hill climb. That's it. Like that's the only niche. If you don't care about the Japanese hill climb, then you might as well fuse that as well. And then other Ultras that are pretty decent. I've heard some pretty good reviews about the XQ30. Obviously it has 86 handling and 4-wheel drive and all surface tires. I do have one maxed out, but I have to be completely honest with you, I barely use it. But talking about cars that are actually, you know, things that I use a lot more is the Volvo Xc90. As you can see, they have the same amount of handling. They're both 4-wheel drive. They're both all-surface tires, but one is faster to 60 in 6 seconds. That being said, I'm pretty sure the Volvo is heavier. This is 1,600 and this is 1,900. But once again, it's still not that, you know, big of a difference when it comes to SUVs. Okay, I mean, if there's a 300 kg difference between Caterhams, that's a huge difference. But when it comes to SUVs, not really. It's still under 2,000, and the Xc90 is a really good car. So I would definitely prefer to keep this one over the XQ30. That's just my 2 cents. The X1 is decent as well, but not like the biggest keeper in the world. But personally, if you were gonna get any of the ultra rares, I would say G63, Volvo Xc90, both of the standard tire 4-wheel drives, and the Juke. Everything else is basically fuse. All the ultras that you see here, especially the ones that aren't like darkened, obviously I own them, and I do have some max. I have the ESV max, you know, I have the Velar max. Just because I have it max though doesn't mean it's a car that you should keep. As Leo says, I max a lot of crap. Anyway, moving on to epics. So in terms of the Tri-Series, every low RQ epic you see here is going to be useless besides one, and that is going to be the Land Rover Defender Works V8. This is a key car for the finals, but you only need one. This isn't, you know, when I was thinking about track sets for this final, I was going to be like, oh my god, it's going to be like the person that has the most Land Rover V8 Defender Works that's going to win. But because we have a lot of fast tracks, a lot of drags, we have test bowls, half mile, this kind of takes out the Defender Works V8 from the equation. That being said, there is at least one twisty dirt track or one twisty off-road track per track set, so you can still get away with one, and you should, because for that one track, it probably is going to be the best unless you have a maxed out Stelbio Quadrifoglio. So that being said, if you do get the Land Rover Defender Works V8, that is a keeper. It's an amazing car, and I always use it. It's so useful because it's one of the few British off-road tire cars, and one of the things that catches a lot of people off guard is that it's actually from 2018. It doesn't look like it's from 2018, but it is from 2018, and it's a really good car. I use it in clubs a lot. I use it everywhere a lot. It's won me, I think, like one prize car. It won me the Chiron Sport, so it's an amazing thing. I think it also won me the Titanium Pack, but I'm not too sure. I can't remember if it did actually win me the Titanium Pack. But that's a really good car. So moving on to epics, nothing. The GLE 63S will be decent to 332 if you don't have any of the legendaries, so this one's a decent one for the Tri-Series, but it's not key. But nothing. Once again, the I-Pace, it's decent. I wouldn't say it's key, because Hutch really wanted to put the emphasis on the RSQ3, which I'm pretty sure the RSQ3 would beat the I-Pace in a lot of tracks. That being said, you know, there are also a lot of drags, and the I-Pace is not good on the drags. It's great on the twisties. It can do a fast circuit, it can do a hairpin, it can do a twisty, but it cannot do a drag, especially if you're coming up against the legendaries, the Bentegas, or even the epic Bentega Diesel. Anyway, moving on, we have the Bentega Diesel. This one's key. This car is like key if there was anything. Like this, the Rover Works V8, and like a couple of legendaries, and I guarantee you that's tier 1. If you have like 3 legendaries, this and the V8, that is 100% tier 1, which really pisses me off because I have 3 legendaries, I have the V8, but I don't have the Bentega Diesel. And a lot of people actually have the Bentega Diesel because this was a tier 2 prize car. It was the tier 2 prize car when the Lamborghini Urus finals were out. But I won the Lamborghini Urus, so I never got the Bentega Diesel. I've opened a lot of GE packs. I've never gotten it. I do want this because what makes this so key is that when it comes to the drags, it beats the legendary Bentegas. It beats the legendary Bentegas. And I know what you're thinking. What if I maxed the legendary Bentega? Even if I 332'd my legendary Bentega, which is the RQ83, it still loses to the Bentley Bentega Diesel on a dirt half mile. I'm not even joking. I'm going to put a picture right here. Now, obviously in the picture, that Bentega is 233, but I guarantee you, even if it was 332, it was still going to lose. It's 0.021. Usually an upgrade change will decrease the time by like 0.06 or something like that. Like, the Bentega Diesel is actually insane. If you get this car, 332 it, this thing is going to be key into winning you the Zonda. So when it comes to epics, that's all I got. Oh, there's one more epic actually. It's the SQ5. This one's key as well. So when you come to get epics, when it comes to epics from this pack, for the Tri-Series purposes, what you really want is the Works V8, the RSQ3, not really the I-Pace actually, the RSQ3, the Bentley Bentega Diesel, and the Audi SQ5. Those are your 4 key cars. Now, if we're talking about the long run, just about, you know, events outside the Tri-Series, I would say some really good keepers would be the XC40 because it is incredibly light. I haven't maxed out, and I think it's about 1,500, which is about the same weight as a lot of saloons and even coupes. So this is a very, very light car, the XC40. Some other great keepers, like I said, the GLE63S is decent. The I-Pace is a key car in so many things, just not in this Tri-Series, but in so many other events, the I-Pace is a key. So if you do get the I-Pace from this pack, it's definitely a keeper. Don't fuse it away. It's not going to help you as much as a Bentega or the RSQ3 for this event, but in the long run, that I-Pace is going to be so good. The BMW X3 M40i is also a really good car, and that's about it. So let's move on to legendaries now. So obviously, if you get a legendary from the 2015 and 2019, you want to keep all of them. That's no question. It's no fuse, it's no sell. Do not fuse or sell your legendaries unless you're Leo. But that being said, there are still legendaries that are better than others, alright? So the first one I want to talk about is indeed the Bentley Bentega W12. It is somewhat key, because when it comes to the drags, it's second to the Epic Bentega. I don't know how it performs to the V8 because I don't know anyone that has the V8 besides Uncle, but he hasn't sent me any times, but I also haven't asked him for any times. So I don't know how the W12 deals with the V8. But I do know at the end of the day, both of these Bentegas are trash and they will lose to the Epic anyway. So that being said though, it's still your second best option. If you don't have the Epic, you have to use the Legendary. How weird is that, right? Usually it's the Epic that's the second best option, but in this case, it's the Legendary that's the second best option. And I have the Legendary and not the Epic. My luck is weird. But what makes this thing key though? What makes this thing very interesting? And I know it does beat the Bentega V8 on this one particular track set because of the higher top speed, is the test bowl. This is the best car on the test bowl. I've tested it out. I think it hits 167 miles per hour on the test bowl at 111, or you know, at 333, right? That beats a maxed out Alfa Romeo Stelbio Quadrifoglio. This beats a maxed Alfa Romeo Stelvio on a test bowl. And for that reason alone, I have to say, you know what? Hands down. Okay, that's pretty good. And it does beat the Epic Bentega on the test bowl. But at the end of the day, this car literally is a one-trick pony. It's just good on the test bowl. But at least it's good at something, right? Some of the cars that you know you might want to keep would be the F-Pace SVR because I think it has one of the best MRA out of all the SUVs here. The Macan Turbo is an amazing machine, amazing handling. The Cayenne Turbo is just a worse version of the Macan Turbo. So if you do get the Macan Turbo, congratulations. I have to say though, it has one of the worst pictures in the game. And of course, the last but not least is the Alfa Romeo Stelbio Quadrifoglio. It is the best car. If you have this maxed out, it is the best car for this event, hands down. It will even beat the Land Rover V8 Works. That being said though, although it's the best in every track set, it's only the best in all track sets but one, because it does indeed lose the test bowl to the W12, so that's pretty nice. Anyway, let me just show you what my hand is real quick. So if I just went into my cars, this is what I'm going to be using for the finals for now. I'll be using the Cayenne Turbo, the SVR, and the W12 for my 3 legendaries, and then for my 2 epics, I'm going to be using the I-Pace, and I'm going to be using the Land Rover Defender Works. Now, like I said, this would be so much better if I didn't have the I-Pace. Well, actually, I want the I-Pace. I want to keep the I-Pace. But if I had the Bentega Diesel. If I had the Epic Bentega Diesel. In fact, if I had the Epic Bentega Diesel, would I replace the I-Pace with it? I don't think I would. If I had the Epic Bentega, I would probably replace my Legendary Bentega. Because the Legendary Bentega only wins 1 out of 4 track sets. But the Bentega wins 3 out of 4 track sets. So, you know, the Legendary only wins the test bowl. So it's a one-trick pony. But that being said, though, I am kind of sad. I thought it was all going to be all off-road because I did preemptively put a fuse into my X3 M40i again, my second one, because the first one I maxed out and it got nerfed and I got rid of it. But yeah, I had to do it again, and it was a complete waste of 3 Ultras because it doesn't fit anywhere in here. I mean, yes, right now, this maxed out could probably beat the SVR because that's 3785 when this is 3883. But you know what? Newsflash, if I just put one handling upgrade in the S-Pace SVR, that's the X3 out of the window. And I can do that because if you look at my fuse material, I do have enough. To put in a handling upgrade into the SVR if I need to. Because if I go into my cars, I go into filter, and I go into, where is it? Unlocked. I have 39 epics that I can get rid of, so I could probably max 2 legendaries if I needed to. I'm not going to because this isn't an American car. I only go all out for those. But anyway, with that said, that's gonna be it. That's the 2015 and 2019 SUV carbon fibers. I hope this video helped you out with your decision making. Those are the cars that you need. Those are the key cars that you need to win the Zonda. But obviously, outside of that, there are also some key cars where it can help you in the long run in future events. All in all, 2015 to 2019 SUVs carbon fiber. Is it a good pack? In terms of outside of the Tri-Series, no, it's not. It's not worth it. If you do not want to get the Zonda, it's not worth getting the pack. Some of the best cars from the 2015 to 2019 SUVs are the epics. It's actually the I-Pace, maybe the RQ82 Audi, and the V8 Works. But you can get the I-Pace and the V8 Works in a great exhibition carbon fiber, and from that pack you also have a chance to get the slick tire McLaren GT3s, DBS Superleggera, TVR Tuscan race car. So at the end of the day, it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. Only open the pack if you want the Zonda. If not, I would abstain. But anyway, I hope this video helped you out. Remember to stay safe, and that's gonna be the video. But yeah, remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.